This movie time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the full shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is It's Movie Time. And Linda, this is a time in the world where the law rules. I mean, we have an impeachment process that's actually very legal,
Yes.
but probably the only recourse for people who oppose the president or with the president's actions. And around the world, despots are taking over, and in the end, it's people are going to have to rely on the law.
That's right.
So there's a film called Just Mercy.
Yes. Court is in session.
What's it about?
Well, first of all, you have to remember how every session in court begins. It's, I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And this whole system in Alabama is just full of liars and cheats, and we see a man that gets up and testifies against. First of all, we need to say who's in the movie.
Exactly.
Right. It's called Just Mercy, and Michael B. Jordan is playing Brian Stevenson, and he is a young Harvard graduate, law school, who comes down from Delaware to defend Jamie Foxx, who plays Walter McClelland.
Sure. And he's a young idealistic lawyer,
Yes, very.
and he is going to set up with Eva Ansley, played by Brie Larson,
Right.
A justice
Right.
Initiative for people who have been incarcerated, it would appear,
Right.
unjustly.
Exactly. And one of the first scenes in the movie is this very sleazy man who gets up and testifies that Michael B. Jordan, I'm not having a good day. He testifies that Johnny D., that's what they call him, killed this white woman. And he's lying. And even though 17 witnesses get up to testify that Johnny D. wasn't even around the scene of the murder, he still gets sent to death row.
And you know, it's ironic. It takes place, I think, in Monroeville, Alabama.
Yes.
Which is the home of Truman Capote
Uh-huh.
and Harper Lee.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right. So it's ironic.
Yes.
Most of the authorities in Alabama do not come off well.
No, indeed.
Particularly the cops.
Right. Oh.
And racism is rampant.
Exactly.
And we're talking late 80s. So
Right.
we still have it.
This was not in the Jim Crow era, but still, both the sheriff and the district attorney never considered the truth.
Okay.
And the sheriff, he gets, I think, reelected to his position 6 more times after this movie is over, after the story
Right.
is over. And he's clearly crooked.
Right.
And even the district attorney, he doesn't even consider the truth.
Jamie Foxx plays the man who had Walter McClelland,
Right.
who has spent 6 years on death row.
Right.
And
he never really had a formal trial, did he? He was never formally convicted, I don't think.
Okay. And there are all kinds of disappointments in the legal process as they uncover the inconsistencies, the injustices toward this man.
Right.
And many of them are based on bigotry and racism. And so it's a terrible adventure for a young lawyer to be going against this system to try to save a man who clearly has been unjustifiably
Right.
accused. So as a film, as a drama, how does it work, Lenny, for you?
I thought the acting was very good. Jamie Foxx at times just shudder.
I mean, you have 2 Oscar winners here.
I know.
And Brie Larson playing the partner, Michael B. Jordan's partner in this project.
Right. Hers is much smaller.
A much
role.
smaller role, right.
But Michael B. Jordan was in Creed. In fact, there was an article in the paper yesterday about the decade that was the most important for movies about Black lives, and then
Right.
we are talking
And he was
about
in
this
Black
movie.
Panther as well.
Right, that's right.
He is certainly
He's
one of the
very,
prominent
very good,
young
very good. And
black
again,
actors. Fox, I think, was nominated for Golden Globes for his as a supporting role.
right.
And Michael B. Jordan wasn't probably because it wasn't flashy enough.
Right.
You know, he plays a pretty stolid guy who's just working his way through the system. So it's not Although, one of the strengths or weaknesses of the film, depending on how you look at it, are the speeches.
Yes. Yeah.
But apparently this is the way Brian Stevenson, who wrote this about this,
Exactly.
who was of course the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, for people who have interviewed him, this is the way he is. He'll start lecturing you, and the film has Hollywood type, particularly at the process of the trial.
Right. Oh, definitely. And even though. One of the most outstanding parts in the movie for me is when a man who is a Vietnam vet with PTSD goes to the electric chair, and to me that was one of the most profound moments in the movie. It was electrifying, and the rest of it is rather thin, I thought, but it is made better by the acting.
Yeah, and that I agree with you on. While it looks like Brian Stevens is defending Jamie Foxx's Walter McMillan, this other guy is going to the chair.
Right.
And he's also one of his clients, so he has several clients.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a sadness and a kind of a secondary plot, but an interesting one. Because I think what you were hinting at is the dramatic thread here is thin.
Oh, it's very thin. Very thin.
And I don't know how they get around it other than perhaps some very good interactive scenes that they may not have, because the arc is the same.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to save people who are unjustly condemned in the system, the arc is going to be very similar. You're going to initially be in the I don't believe this stuff into an arc of presenting the facts and being turned back,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually winning. So what's new?
Yeah.
Nothing's new.
This has all been done before.
Right.
So, I mean, I liked the film. It held my attention, but I wasn't overly impressed with it.
All right. So, Linda, Baas McClelland.
Yes, sir.
Opening up today is Just Mercy, starring Brie Larson, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Foxx. A story about racism, bigotry, injustice. What grade do you award it?
Because of the thinness of the storyline, I gave it a C.
All right, okay. And I'm going to give it a B because the acting, is just superb, and because I'm trying to make a compensation for a story that's been told before. But it's the truth.
Right. Sadly, it's the truth.
Yeah, all right. So this is a good weekend for movies. Turning Up, 1917 and so on is coming out today.
That's right, yeah.
But I think for people who want something a little lower key and who do like stories about the legal system.
Mm-hmm, right, and some people do.
Coming as I did from a long tradition of Perry Mason all the way up,
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you that it doesn't interest me. It does interest me.
Good.
The legal arguments are always fascinating.
Yes. Court is adjourned.